Well, Coach, just after the last three games, what would you characterize the morale of the team right now?
I think they're good. I mean, I think that I was really proud of their fight against Baylor. After the game, that I thought their demeanor was really good as far as they were very disappointed, but they weren't deflated or defeated. I think they just have proven again that they can play with anybody in this conference. It's just a matter of showing up every day um, and putting their best foot forward every time they step on the floor, no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, you've shown the ability to, like you said, play with anyone. How do you just get that sort of consistent over a game and not, the last three quarters like Baylor?
Well, I mean, I think it's a matter of our kids are just trying to figure out, their chemistry still. I think they're still finding out who they are and that they are capable. I think in the first quarter there was some doubt, within our team, whether it was if we could play with them, if we believed in our game plan, if we, thought we could really get it done. And I think that our kids, we had some kids step up that I thought led us to that point to where, hey, we can compete. And I just thought that our kids stayed together and kept fighting. And I thought we showed a lot of growth actually and maturity in the fact that they could have laid down. And I think that's part of our culture that we're building is, I think we saw it kind of build right there in front of our eyes in that game because, they very easily and probably had every reason to wave the white flag at the end of the first quarter and decide that it was going to be too hard. But they didn't do that. They got back up, they continued to fight, they made it a great game. And had every opportunity to win, and that's the culture that we're trying to instill: is that they're in the fight and that they compete every time they're on the court.
Just start typical Bree Amber question. What's her status for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, she's still unavailable for tomorrow, but I'm very hopeful for next week.
And obviously, with all the injuries that you guys have had this season, obviously we're already sort of in the thick of things when it comes to the Big 12. But do you feel like they're playing at the level that you wanted them to play at this point, or have they exceeded expectations?
I mean, I think that there are times that we certainly have. I think that you can tell that when we have all of our pieces, and then even when we just have the right mindset, I think that our kids are really focused and they can. They're playing at the level that I thought that they could play at the whole time. It just takes time. I mean, it's hard to gel kids that haven't played together before, and we've got 12 kids that haven't played together before in essence. And even though that's what non-conference is for and all of that, it's still when you're in high-pressured situations, it's about trust. It's about knowing what the other person's going to do, about where the next pass is going to come from, the next rotation, all of those things. And I think we're just, still trying to grind through that. I think that there's still just moments of greatness, and I think there's moments that, that aren't great. And we've talked about that when you're building and it's part of the process that you're going to have some not so many great days. And I think that the more that we can eliminate those moving forward, the better that we're going to be. So there's still a lot of basketball to be played, a lot of games in our season left, and a lot of parity amongst the conference. So by no means are we out of any type of hunt. We've just got to worry about ourselves right now and just continue to get better every day.
You got another ranked team coming in. Obviously, you've won a couple of these already. What's sort of been the difference in between those wins and those ones that you just don't get over the hump?
I don't know. I think against Baylor, we stuck to our game plan and we really started buying into it. I think that against K-State and Texas, we definitely followed our game plan, and our kids really understood that. I think in the first quarter against Baylor, not so much, and then as they figured it out, things started clicking for them. And that's just part of, like I said, that's just part of that trust and growth within our program. And I think our kids get up for big games. I mean, clearly they do, but every game we've played in, we've been in. I mean, even whether it's a ranked opponent or not, I mean, we've played and competed well. We just have got to eliminate the mistakes. So there's a lot of mental mistakes that we make throughout the game, and sometimes at crucial times that cost us ball games.
And what kind of challenges does Iowa State pose for you guys?
Iowa State is a matchup problem for us. They can really, really shoot the three, and so you cannot help really anywhere. And they're just so lethal from the three-point line. So we're going to have to limit the ability for them to shoot the three some, and a lot like K-State, where we've got to limit where they get their points, and their bread and butter is the three-point line and transition defense. And both of those things are a deadly weapon. I think that's really hard to defend if they can run in transition and then also spot up and hit the three. So our defense, I think, is going to be crucial, that we don't get in a running game with them, that we limit their touches and open looks, especially catch and shoot threes. Like, we can't have one pass catch and shoot threes for them. And so that's going to be a matter of communicating, and particularly in transition. And then offensively, they're just really solid. I think they lead the nation in fewest fouls for a team. And so, they don't foul. They play good position defense. They don't gamble. You've really got to earn the points that you put on the board. So I think we're going to have to really work hard together to score.
You kind of just touched on that a little bit before, but when you go into these games against ranked opponents, do you notice like a little bit of extra juice in the practices before that? When do you start to see, I guess, kind of the fire light up in your team's eye when they go into big games?
Yeah, I think absolutely, yeah, that they definitely prepare themselves. And, I thought against Baylor we had a really good practice the day before, and I thought we had a great shoot around, a great energy, great focus. Our kids take care of business as far as getting ready to play. I think that when we can have all of them show up on the same night, that's always good. But I don't know. I think these kids know how to get themselves ready. And of course, the bigger the opponent, the more really people make of it. And so that it makes them get fired up as well.
Big game for Brynn in that last game. I'm assuming you're in her ear more than probably anybody. How do you take that game and, help her get to this next game coming up and maybe ride that same momentum?
Yeah, I think she's playing really confident. I think she's being a great leader and just being really aggressive. And I think the more that she's attack-minded and knows that she can help us scoring-wise, the better we are. I think whenever she's looking to score, that makes people defend her a little bit better, and then she can pass it as well. But I just really like her confidence and her leadership right now, and her mindset. And, we need her to do that for us to be successful and to take a little bit of pressure off of Vivian and Taylor and some other people on the floor.
Coach, I know there's still a lot of games played left this season, but at this point in the season, thinking about your team, who is your unsung hero so far this year?
I think Hatty Faye has just played exceptional. I think she's, had some moments where we wish she had done some different things better, but she's played really big in some big games for us. She's been a presence in the paint. She's come up with some good rebounds for us and defense. And all of those things are really important in the Big 12 because the Big 12 is so big and physical. So I think that she has really developed, and she's still really young, so I think she's got a long ways, a lot of growth in front of her as well. But I think she has probably been the one that has stepped up the most in her role, and has helped us consistently.
And it's no secret that the Big 12 is super competitive this year in the women's basketball ranking. So with you guys, losing these close games, but also with those big third quarter pushes, how does the Big 12 conference really help you guys to find character and growth and stuff, that could possibly help you guys later on this season, especially in those big games, especially in the Big 12 tournament?
Yeah, the Big 12 is just a challenge every single day, and we are in the middle of the grind. This grind is no joke, and that's what we keep talking to our kids about, embracing it. You can't let your mind go to, I need a break. You can't let your mind go to, who's the next person on the schedule, because the next person or the next team is really good every time. Every time we play somebody, they're really good. So it's just, I think they're learning a lot of valuable lessons about life right now. That life is tough, and that every day it's a grind, and you've got to embrace it and find ways to get better and improve and keep rising up for the challenges, and to not let adversity or failure keep you down. That's what we learn from, and that's what success is built on, is really not how many times you can win, it's how many times you keep getting back up.
I was going to ask you about Hattie, but can you speak to what's been the turning point for her, whether it's coaching, practice, just reps?
I really think it was I mean, because I think I think she's been giving us some great minutes all year, and I really think that it's from this spring and summer. I think she really bought into what we were doing. I think she committed herself to wanting to get a lot better and to help us. She loves to play her role. I mean, it really upsets her when maybe she doesn't do things right and there's a tension on her or it distracts the team from what our goal is. I mean, she's very much an all-in player and wants to do whatever she can to help our team. But I think her mindset has just changed. I think it's been more confident. I think she trusts her coaching staff and that she believes what they're telling her and that she's very, very coachable.
Do you have one part of her game that you really like right now that she's really been exceptional for you guys?
I think more than anything, it's just been her defense. I really think she's bought into defending great players, and she's had to face a lot of great post players this year. And I think really the bigger the challenge, the better that she is. I think that she takes it upon herself to provide that just that defensive stopper for us. You know, she makes it difficult for post players to catch it on the inside. She contests shots. She rebounds the basketball pretty well. I want her to become more of an offensive threat, particularly down low. I think she's going to keep developing her, her 15-foot jumper and being able to attack the basket. But right now I need her to be a little bit more of a force inside offensively.
And then finally for me, Ashley Jones, can you speak to her and the problem that she poses for you guys?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we've watched a lot of film on Ashley Jones, and she's obviously one of the best players in the conference and just has so many weapons to her game. I mean, she can get to the rim. You know, she's very crafty in traffic. She has a killer step back three, which I think is probably her best thing that she does right now. And she just draws a lot of attention. I mean, she's a tough assignment. And I think probably what I like most about her game is just her consistency and her demeanor. She doesn't get too high. She doesn't get too low. She just battles. If she misses a shot, you can be assured that she is getting her hands on the rebound or getting back in the play. So I think that's a huge challenge for us, and for us to just battle that consistency of that great effort and continuing to just fight through, whatever it is that she brings at us. We've just got to be able to counter it.
Georgia sort of being that outliner of teams that you played against that are ranked, how big is it, to have a good start, a good first quarter? Because it seems like, K-State and the Texas game, you guys get off to a
Sure.
lead in the first quarter and that sort of transition to the game.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot. I mean, that's kind of how we've rotated our starting lineup too, is for that very reason, is to find a good start. What combination gives us a fast start. And I think it's very important just for our mental psyche, for us to have some confidence, to get that juice going. I mean, you can tell that our intensity and our passion and our fire are a little bit different too when we start well, particularly at home. But it's huge. I mean, I think that's huge in anything you do. But the fact that we learned in the last game that we can also overcome a bad start is big. And that's something that I think that is going to give us value down the line.
You touched on it a little bit there, but is there a difference in comfortability when you guys are, ahead or playing from behind? Is there a difference?
I think when you play from behind, you have to play with urgency, obviously, and I think that your mindset has to be that you're never out of the fight. And I do think that our kids have that. I think when you're ahead, you've got to play with a poise and a confidence of a killer instinct, not that you're playing not to lose. And I think there's a fine line there. And you've really got to be able to take care of the basketball. You've got to be able to just keep going at them and keep building that lead. So, and then I think the most important thing in both of those scenarios is that you keep playing defense. Everybody thinks it's about offense, and yes, you do have to score to win, but if you can't get stops, you're not going to keep a lead, and if you can't get stops, you're not going to come from behind. So I think defense is what we preach a lot in both of those scenarios, of just to continue to play and continue to try to get stops.
Coach, last game you guys had multiple players in double figures. What have you guys been doing to really help grow that offensive confidence?
I think just sharing the basketball. I mean, we talk a lot about that we're so much better if we share the basketball. I mean, we had a higher number of assists last game. I mean, our goal is always to get as close to 20 assists as we can. And when that's happening, we're going to be playing well, and we're going to be sharing the basketball. and that makes other people score it more. But we've got a lot of offensive weapons on the floor, but we have to help each other score. We just don't have very many kids that can just go one-on-one or break somebody down defensively and score it themselves. So we've got to continue to be patient on offense and execute and really share the basketball.
And Lexi hit her 1,800 career point on, what was it, Wednesday?
Yeah.
The week is flown by.
Same.
Yeah, but how incredible the accomplishment to see her achieve that as a coach.
Yeah, that's a lot of points, right? No matter what, that's a lot of points. At this level, that's a lot of points. And I've coached the Division II level, and that's a lot of points there. I mean, that's a lot of balls going in the basket for sure. And I'm glad that she got to continue to play and that she's doing so well here and getting to showcase her game at this level. And for her to have that accomplishment in a Lady Raider uniform, I think is fantastic.
Do we have anything else for Coach?
Where did you get your shoes from? Because those were.
I really think I get them from Dillard's. I really don't know.
Those are pretty viral.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
All righty, Coach. Thank you very much.
All right.